misunderstood. Some say that he's up to no good around the neighborhood. Well, for your information, a lot of my brothers got education.
Hello everybody, thank you for joining me today. My name is Josh Clark. This is episode number 55. That's Desinicism, DESINICISM.com. So today we're going to look at this new global citizen cosmopolitan subject, which is a very late 20th century concern, beginning with satellites as an extension of our eyes towards outer space. With the first satellite in late 50s, Sputnik. And from there we're able to develop satellite television, GPS and geospatial technologies, which is probably more of a very late 20th century concern, moving into the 90s. So if we're to encapsulate a lot of these ideas moving forward with the dissipation of national boundaries and borders, globalization is really what's happening. One of the principal distinctions of this opening up of I guess economic globalization as well as cultural globalization was the signing of the North American Free Trade Agreement in the late 80s. So NAFTA opened up borders of production and consumption, and without sort of restrictions on trade, limiting those restrictions. So with globalization, there is contradictory tendencies going on. There's standardization with local cultures in some regard, and there's a lot of heterogeneity. So we're going to look at the cultural imperialism thesis, and this is really how ideology, politics, a way of life is exported through cultural products, and is really, for instance, the United States exporting their media, their television programs to the second and what's considered to be the third world, and that weakening the local cultures through hegemony. There's still counters to this argument. For the most part, television only went global in the 1990s. Therefore, some would argue that cultural imperialism is not the best way to address the way that culture travels. But if we're to be very honest, the most effective way that world powers such as the United States has ever demonstrated their position of power is through the exporting of their cultural products. With foreign programming, oftentimes the template or the format is just borrowed from mass producers of American cultural products. Desinicism, a fusion of design and cynicism, is a philosophical position which questions the industrial agenda as well as tries to encourage purpose-driven and values-based work within the design community. Desinicism.com is a division of Blockaway Innovation and is a global parent and supporter of UNICEF, which strives to ensure health, education, and equality for children everywhere.